It's not about were you born a leader? It's about, did you make a decision that I want to live an impactful life? And if you make a decision that you want to live an impactful life, well, ladies and gentlemen, you're prepared to be a leader. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And I believe if he gave you the vision, then he'll give you the provision to see it through. The purpose is the same, man. It's to teach success principles. It's to teach God principles, right? We don't just go over one thing. Sometimes it might be leadership. Sometimes it might be sales. Sometimes it might be marketing. What's up? What's up, IG? I see Miss Kaylin Hobbs is in the building. She's feeling amazing. What's up? Hey, we talk about different things every single Saturday, but the growth remains the same. It does not change. The goal is for you to become the best version of yourself, to succeed in all areas of life and not just one. If anybody can get excited about that, type of AOTK on Instagram, type of AOTK on Zoom, and we're going to get this thing started. Obviously, you guys will not be able to see my slides if you're on social media. The recording will drop later today. But I want to ask this for every single one of you. Do you see value in becoming a better leader? I know for me, one of the most important things, not just being a man, but also being somebody who wants to live a life of impact, was becoming an impactful person. But you can't make much impact if you're only leading yourself, right? If you're only staying to yourself. One of the best things you can do is develop the skill, develop the ability to go out there and impact the lives of other people. But there's a science to it. There's an art to it. There's a way that you do it. So what I'm going to do with each and every single one of you, if you bear with me for the next 25 minutes, I'm going to really dive deep on taking your leadership to the next level. Okay, somebody type next level, right? Somebody type next level in the chat, and I'm going to, of course, bounce between the slides and obviously just talking to you guys like I normally do. So if you want to screenshot anything, screenshot it when I first bring it up, because after that, I'm going to take it down and then I'll really just kind of talk to you guys about what it is that we're discussing. Okay, so the first things first. If you're watching the replay, right, definitely like the video, drop a comment, subscribe, share this with somebody else. Guys, we do this all for free. We do have a Discord server. It's available on the AOTK Instagram page in the bio. Okay, subscribe to us on YouTube, join the server, and we do these calls every single Saturday, unless obviously travel or something else. But they're free. There's no agenda. It's not for any particular product. It's not for a particular company. This is just to help people grow and become the best version of themselves. So let's first define leadership, right? For every single person watching, I want to first start by defining leadership, right? I see my man JJ Harper's in the building. What's up, my brother? Okay. So leadership, guys, is somebody that knows the way, right? Somebody that goes the way, and somebody that shows the way is what John Maxwell actually defines a leader as. And so I want you to understand that when you're looking to have massive success, when you're looking to affect and impact the lives of other people, before you can really be considered a leader, it's not just knowing the way. A lot of us, how many guys know someone, maybe it's you, but you know what to do, right? But there's a difference between knowing what to do and actually doing it. Maybe there was a season in your life you knew what to do, but you didn't actually do it. It's about knowing the way and going the way. Okay, but a true leader is also someone who will show the way. There is 3 different levels to this that, again, if you miss even one, you're limiting yourself as a leader. Okay, so in addition to that, your success, ladies and gentlemen, will be a direct reflection of your leadership and the leadership within your organization. The reason why I love that so much is this. There's a quote that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. So you got to be able to slow down enough so that you can bring others with you. I used to want to do everything myself. I used to want to, you know what, if I do it, it'll get done the way I want to get it done. If I do it, then it'll get done right now, today. I don't want to wait. But if even those that have a chance to work with me personally, you'll notice everything I do is with the intention to develop another leader. Everything I do is with the intention to develop another leader. That's what actually multiplies the impact. Because if you do something that's amazing, but only you know how to do it, it dies with you, right? It will not continue with you. But if you can actually pass that message on, if you can pass that principle, that lesson on, then ladies and gentlemen, it's going to live on further than you. It's going to exist even when you're not there. Okay, so if you want to have a big impact, and to be like, can we be frank? A lot of you, a big income. Okay, a lot of the time, one of the best ways you can do it is putting leadership in place. Okay, leadership is practice, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you have ever thought, and you don't have to answer, but how many of you have ever thought, you know what, maybe I'm not the best leader. Maybe I'm supposed to stay to myself. I'm not the person that should be in front leading people. I'm not the person that should, be influencing people. Right? I think a lot of us, we've ran from leadership. Why? Because let's be real, it's a little bit easier. It's not as much pressure. I was talking to somebody on the phone the other day that said, man, I haven't been in leadership in a while. And it's just like basically a weight off my shoulders, right? I don't have to be accountable for people, right? I don't have to have people who are, coming to me and asking me what to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How many of you guys can agree that the price of leadership can be heavy? Type of AOTK in the chat, right? I think we can all agree that leadership sometimes, they say heavy is the head that wears the crown. It does come with some extra responsibility, but if you decide not to make it optional, every single one of you, I believe, can be an impactful leader. Every single one of you that's watching this call, that will watch this call, it's not about were you born a leader? It's not about were you born being extroverted? It's not about if you were born wanting to talk to people. It's about, did you make a decision that I want to live an impactful life? And if you make a decision that you want to live an impactful life, well, ladies and gentlemen, you're prepared to be a leader. Okay? God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And I believe if he gave you the vision, then he'll give you the provision to see it through. Okay? So a true leader is a true visionary, right? Somebody that can see what it is that other people cannot see yet. That's the purpose of a leader, is to have further vision than those that he or she leads. Why is that? Well, if I see what you see, then I could replace you as a leader with myself. I'm gonna say that again. If I see as somebody following a leader what the leader sees, then I could replace the leader with myself. There would be no purpose for the leader. The purpose of the leader is to see beyond what it is that most people see and lead those individuals to the promised land. Okay, and lead those individuals to where it is that they want to be. So if you want to be a leader, you have to have vision above and greater than what most people can see. That's further than what most people can see. Now, guys, the top 5 characteristics of a leader, and I will show you guys here on the screen. Okay. The top 5 characteristics of a leader. You guys can see it, screenshot it, take it down, and we're going to get into what these things really, really mean. Okay. Obviously, you have character, integrity, positive mental attitude, work ethic, and a pleasing personality. I tell you guys, one of the most impactful things that you can do is becoming a transformational leader. Character is toughness in the face of adversity, right? I ask people, are you a diamond or are you just cubic zirconia? Are you a diamond or are you just cubic zirconia? How do we know the difference on whether or not you're a diamond or whether you're cubic zirconia? The way that we know, well, a diamond is created and can stand and last under pressure. Cubic zirconia will fold and break under the pressure. So when life gets hard, when things get tough, one of the things that a leader must be able to do is remain poised, remain calm, be able to move forward, be able to still speak positivity, be able to still remain all composure and lead the people to where it is that they need to be. Okay? Do you have that level of character? When things get tough, do you start cutting corners? Do you start doing things that, do you start throwing in the towel? Do you start taking off? Guys, the best thing that you can do is show people your character. In leadership, they will follow you until the end of the earth. But you have to have that character. In addition to that, your integrity. Can we count on you? And can we count on you to do the right thing, even if no one's watching? Can we count on you to keep your word? Okay? I'm pretty sure each and every single one of us has experienced multiple types of leaderships. And one of the things that no one likes is a leader that doesn't keep their word. They say that I can't, I literally, guys, these are some of the first things I look for if I'm going to work with a leader. I worked with leaders before. They said they were going to do this, never did it. They said this was going to end up taking place. It never ended up taking place. That is the best and fastest way to lose credibility as a leader and with the team. Okay. A positive mental attitude. Guys, this is one of the biggest things. I saw a video that changed my life and my perspective forever years ago. Okay. And how many guys ask somebody how they're doing? You ask somebody how everything is going, and they'll say something like, well, honestly, not doing the best. I heard people say stuff like, well, if I had your head, I'd cut mine off. People will say things like, man, I've seen better days. Okay. All of the type of stuff that people say that's negative. Guys, one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself, start saying I'm incredible. Start saying I'm amazing. Start saying, you know what? I'm alive. I feel blessed. I feel full of life, full of vitality. Guys, I saw that video at 18 years old, and ever since, I don't know that I've told anyone that I've had a bad day, right? Even if something is happening, because I understand the power of the words that you speak, and I understand the power of, positive mental attitude. Okay, some people think, oh, you know what, man, that's a little bit corny. Why do you need to always, I'm not saying don't be authentic, okay? Yeah, Jazzy says, I am choosing to bear good fruit. Come on, say that. Okay, but you got to decide to be positive. You got to decide to look on the bright side of things. I'm telling you, it will make a world of difference, especially if you're leading. You cannot afford to be negative and feed negativity down throughout the group. Let me give you a tip. If you do have negative news or something negative that you need to talk about, always feed it up to someone that's leading you, but never feed it down into those that you're leading. Always feed it up, but never go to your team, never go to your group, never go to your organization, and then start gossiping or spreading negative news. Always go to somebody that you can trust, somebody that's mentoring or coaching you, and discuss that information with them. Work ethic. Now, this is one that you literally cannot, I don't even coach this. One of my first prerequisites for working with anybody is, do you work? Because it works if you work. Okay, it works if you work. A lot of people, how many guys ever heard somebody say, they say it all the time. I'm not talking about in one instance. I'm not talking about in one scenario. Their answer for everything is, if God wants me to have it, I'll have it. If God wants me to experience it, I'll experience it. If God wants me to be this way, then he'll make me this way. How many guys ever seen somebody say that before? Okay. And again, not one time somebody says, Malachi, that's true. I'm talking about all the time. That's the reason for everything. That's like saying, if God wanted me to brush my hair this morning, he would have brushed it for me. Okay. It's like saying if God wanted me to brush my teeth, he'd have brushed them for me. Okay, that's not the way you should think. I tell people, work, okay, like it's up to you, and pray like it's up to God. Let me say it again. Pray like it's up to God, but work like it's up to you. Somebody says, I want a table. God ain't blessed me with a table. No, God gave you the tree so you can break it down and build the table. Work ethic, work ethic, work ethic. Somebody says, oh, it's not working. How many calls have you done? Oh man, I haven't made any sales. How many people have you talked to? Okay, this is the reality, guys. I used to think things weren't working for me when I realized, wait, my calendar has one call a week. Wait, I don't even have a plan of action. Wait, I don't even have, okay, any evidence of any activity going on. Come on, work ethic. Make the commitment that you're going to stay consistent. Plan, do, review. Okay? Leaders don't find shortcuts, man. They pay the full price. You know, I used to ask myself, they're talking about hard work. How hard do I really have to work? I swear I used to wonder, like, what's the least I can do and get the most? That was my mindset, man. Like, I wonder how many hours a day do what's hard work? I said, you know what? I'm going to just go to my limit. I'm going to just see what I can do. Forget what everybody else is doing. I'm going to be honest with myself on what my capacity is, and I'm going to push it to the limit. I'm going to decide to be the best that I can be. Okay. And that's the mentality, ladies and gentlemen, that you want to have if you want to win on a high level, if you want to win on a massive level. Okay. It's work ethic. Decide to work, to work, to work, to work. Okay. It's one of the best ways you can build confidence as well. Guys, pleasing personality. This is so important. How many of you have been around somebody? They just dim the energy in the room. When they walk in, you know, the energy is just dimmed. It's just lowered. The frequency is just off. How many of you guys, you ever talk to somebody on the phone and you know it's going somewhere negative, and so you just say, man, like I was having a great day until this person called me and just decided to unload all this negative news, and you got to kind of avoid talking to that person. How many guys ever been around somebody with that that level of negative energy? Right? Riz says, shake my head for real. Okay, that's the kind of person, guys, that you don't want to be as a leader. You cannot afford to be that way as a leader. Okay, again, a positive mental attitude in a pleasing personality. How many of you, I mean, you've seen that person that it's just not pleasing, man. It's like, geez, like you're just annoying. Maybe they're not, you know, negative, but they're just annoying. Or how many of you have seen somebody who's super offensive? Every time they speak, they're offending someone. Like, geez, like it's either their way or the highway, right? They're very polarizing as a figure. You either like them or you hate them, but there is no middle ground. They don't know how to appeal to multiple types of people. Okay, this is red flag, red flags, not who you want to be in leadership. A pleasing personality is a well-rounded person that you can introduce people to. Why would your team, why would the people following you introduce people to you if you're not going to be pleasing to the people that they introduce you to? Maybe any of you have worked with somebody before who you introduced a good amount of people to them and they all came back and said, no, I don't like that person. No, don't hook me up with that. I don't want to be connected to that person. Okay. Right now, listen, on your way to the top, you're going to get some haters. Everybody's not going to like you. That's not possible. It's not what I'm saying. If you want everybody to like you, go sell ice cream. But all around, okay, if you're actually somebody who's well-rounded, no, your personality should be pleasing. Okay, pleasing. And it should be something that you're conscious of. You should be, I'm not saying be a people pleaser, but I am saying be conscious, okay? Be conscious of the way that people perceive you and take constructive criticism. Guys, this is the characteristics of a great leader from the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. I'm going to take you guys through it. Again, screenshot it if you need to, write it down if you need to, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about it. Weaver Baller says every single day. Yes. Optimistic Prosperity says go deep. Yes, sir. All right, so listen, characteristics of a leader and a great leader at that. Courageous, okay? Got to be somebody of courage. Somebody says, Malachi, where does courage come from? How do I become more courageous? Somebody says, Malachi, I want to be courageous, but I'm scared. And if you haven't ever said that, I don't even trust you, because everybody has fears. And it's not just the fear of failure. There's also something called the fear of success. But you got to be courageous. Leading from the front, getting in front of people, deciding that you're going to set an example and a standard and be held to it. No, I don't care what you say. That takes courage. And so regardless of whether or not you're afraid, no one said you didn't have to be afraid. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the mastery of it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of it. Okay. So it's not that you're not afraid when you decide to lead. It's not that you're not afraid when you decide to impact people's lives. No, you are. Okay. But you know what? You just don't let it rule you. You got to be ethical. Guys, there's people that they're, big money earners or, great business people. I don't even want to do business with them, period, because they're not ethical. And if you allow, something less than ethical in one area, you're liable to do it in other areas. I don't like working with people who aren't ethical, who cut corners, who decide to just tell little white lies, because what else are you lying about? Okay, ethics. I'm telling you, it's crazy, man. There was this literally, I'm not going to say who it is, but there's this influencer right now who told a really, really big lie, right? And he sold products on the back of that lie, right? And so every time he was asked about that particular thing on every single podcast, right? Every single appearance, when they asked him, hey, such and such and such, he would answer the question saying no when the answer was yes. Right? And he just kept digging that hole deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And now they got a whole documentary out about how he lied blatantly over and over and over. They'll just cut to where he lied, and then they'll cut to where he was, obviously had to tell the truth. Okay. That's what happens when you don't run an ethical business. I know somebody else doing very, very big business, supposedly multiple six figures, right? But I talked to somebody close to this individual, and they tell me such and such has got like over a dozen lawsuits, or however many it was. You would never be able to tell from Instagram. But I think about that and I'm like, man, like, you really want to do anything just to be able to make some money? Okay. Always keep your ethics high. Resilience. People ask me a lot of the time what sets myself apart. And I think one of the things is resilience. Okay. An unwillingness to quit. Just decide I'm going to show up again and again and again, no matter what. I'm coming back. I'm showing up no matter what. Guys, being humble. Don't be the person that's bragging or boasting about what it is that you've done, what you've achieved. Okay. Patient. Can you have, guys, oh gosh, true wealth will only ever reveal itself to those patient enough to train others. You got to be willing to be patient. You got to be willing to slow down with people. You got to be willing to hear people out. You can't be rushing people. And no, you have to actually slow down. This was hard in the beginning because I was used to just me. I can go at this speed. No, not the way to do it. Not if you want to lead and impact people on a massive scale. Patience, being a problem solver, not being somebody that is problem oriented, but somebody that is solution oriented. You ever talk to those people and they make everything a problem? Man, you know, this is wrong today. Man, you know, there's something wrong with this. They always see the negative side of things. They always see that the glass is half empty, kind of a person, kind of a mentality. Don't be that person. Okay. You got to be motivated, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be honest. Okay. You got to be somebody as well. Okay. That's determined. Right. In addition to that, you got to be creative. That's another piece of leadership. Right. I mean, every single person that you look at, they're not the same when it comes to leadership. Everybody's got their own unique gifts, and use that gift, use that superpower to your advantage. Okay. You got to be decisive. You got to be able to make decisions quickly. Successful people make their mind slow. Okay. Or they make their mind fast and they change it slow. Great communicators, you got to be able to communicate with other people very, very effectively. Having a positive outlook, being purposeful. What are you driven by? What's the purpose behind what it is that you're doing? You got to have a growth mindset. You got to be flexible. You got to have emotional intelligence. It's a superpower. Okay. Now, how many of you have seen that every time something doesn't go a person's way, emotionally they crumble? They go into hiding for a little minute, they go MIA, or they just blow up. Guys, I've felt all of the emotions of not being emotionally intelligent, and I'm telling you, emotional intelligence is a superpower. You will literally change your life if you can just not let your highs get too high, don't let your lows get too low. I used to get super excited. Oh my God, my life is changing when one small win for the day happened. Okay. I used to get super down when something didn't go my way and it didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen, until I learned the principle of don't let your highs get too high and don't let your lows get too low. Just keep it even keel. Okay. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. Right. Regardless. You got to have a growth mindset. You got to be confident, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be accountable. Right. In addition to that, guys, influence. Your influence is going to be incredibly important. Okay. And again, you guys can go ahead and save this here, or you can see it on the recording. There are 5 keys that I'm going to talk about to raising influence. Okay, 5 keys that I'm going to talk about to raising influence. Character. Experience is why people will join you. Right? So people will come to the table because of what it is that you've been able to do, maybe as a leader, maybe what it is that you've been able to accomplish in prior experiences. They might come for experience, but they're only going to stay, ladies and gentlemen, for your character. Okay? Your character, how you show up in the heat of battle, how you show up when everything isn't looking so good, how you show up when people are going through it and it's a bad time and it's a bad, probably not the most favorable season. That's why people are going to stay with you. The character. Okay. Absolutely. Rich says, I have a couple I'm working with that on right now. 100%. Guys, I mean, I tell you what, by the way, everything that I'm telling you on this call, I've worked through I'm still working on a lot of this stuff, and I've worked through a lot of this stuff as well. But that's the thing about leadership is it's a decision to be progressive. Not to say this is where I'm at and this is who I am. No, this is where I'm at, but that's where I'm going. Makes sense? Type of AOTK in the chat. Guys, I've worked through so many of these different things, but I tell you what, again, there's a blessing on the other side. There's a promise on the other side. Okay. I know we get into our feelings, but at the end of our feelings is nothing. At the end of every single principle is a promise. Live a life of principle. Live a life of, purpose, not of moving off of the way that you feel. Okay. Character, guys. That's why they'll stay with you. Clarity, it produces acceleration. So you got to be able to paint a clear vision for the people that you're following. Okay, casting vision. People don't catch vision. Vision catches people. Let me ask you a question. Are you casting vision as a leader? What kind of vision are you casting? Can people actually hear the words you speak in the picture that you paint and see themselves fitting inside that vision? Can they see themselves inside of it? Do they feel compelled to run? I love Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 through 3, which starts off by saying, write the vision and make it plain upon tables so that he may run that readeth it. Some of you guys said, what did you just say? And one of my favorite scriptures, it says, write the vision and make it plain, make it plain, make it clear, so that he may run that readeth it. When you have a clear vision that is written, when you have a clear vision that is laid out, okay, it compels people to want to run. I've given this example before. You're on a highway. You've been down that highway, I don't know how many times, but when it's foggy, you will not run. When it's foggy, you will not run. Excuse me, you will not drive because you don't run up. You won't accelerate, but guess what? Even though you've been down that highway so many different times, the reason why you won't accelerate is because you can't see where you're going. Maybe you go down this highway every single day to get home. But guess what? When the fog begins to clear, when the roadway gets clear, what do? Automatically start speeding up. Okay. Your vision for your goals works the exact same way. Okay. When you talk about care, ladies and gentlemen, your team is the mission. Do you care about people? Can I tell you that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care? You have to actually care about people. And again, I hope every single one of you is relating this back to what you're doing right now in life, in business, however you're leading. Don't try to influence someone before they know that you care about them. You got to have it in your heart to actually want to help people. And a coach, ladies and gentlemen, will pull the best out of you. Are you pulling the best out of people that you're working with? Okay, that's how you raise influence. You start helping somebody grow, influence through the roof. You can't help somebody grow, that means you're not adding any value to them. Why would they follow you? And that telling you that applies to so many different areas of life. So many different areas of life. Okay. As we wrap up, guys, we got a few more things we're going to go over. 5 keys to duplication. Okay, because again, you don't want it to die with you. A real leader. Okay, look, 5 keys to duplication. You guys can again take it down as we wrap up here. Okay, so leading by example is first. Once you lead by example, you've now shown people what the standard is. That's the beauty in leading by example, is you've shown people through, I mean, that's the most powerful way. A lot of people, they say, man, listen, my team, my people, my organization, they don't listen to me. They will do, and this is just an estimate of a number, 80%. You know what? They don't even do what you say. They'll only do what you do, really. It might work in the beginning, telling people, do this, do this, do this. But listen, until you start doing what it is that you're saying, most of the time, they won't even follow you. They won't even do what it is that you're saying, because why? Naturally, in our minds, we're inspired by action because we want to see somebody else do it. Leading by example is first. Duplicating influencers is second. You got to have people that are also influencing. If you are the only person with influence in your organization, your group, no, you're not going anywhere fast. You're going nowhere fast. Okay. Becoming a product of whatever product that you may be promoting. Maybe it's a mission statement. Become a product of a mission statement. Embody that. Whatever that is for your organization, product, service, business, whatever. Using the tools or system that you guys have got in place. Why is it important to use the system? You want to have a system-dependent organization. Follow me here. Follow me. Why do you want a system-dependent organization? Because as soon as the organization is dependent upon you, now when you step out of the equation, whole thing will fall apart. Leverage the tools, leverage the system. I have a lot of answers, information, and knowledge I won't give because I'd rather give it to somebody through a tool. Some of you who work with me, you notice this, but there's a reason for it. There's a purpose for it. And then duplicate, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that's the last piece. Now, I'm going to talk to you more about duplication as well, but let's first talk about leading by example. Okay, when you're talking about leading by example, you guys can see it here. How many of you guys have a boss, or you've had a boss that you just couldn't stand? You couldn't stand it. Like I remember when I used to be a busboy, right? I used to work in a restaurant in the service industry. And you know what? It wasn't even just that. I also worked in retail, fast food. And I used to just hate the way they talk to you. They just tell you what to do. Go do this, right? And they don't care a lot of the time if they're coming across as rude. Not every single person, but a lot of leaders that I've experienced. I can only speak from my experience. I mean, they're kind of rude. You know what I mean? It's an energy of, you're less than me because I have a position above you. Go do what I tell you because I told you to do it. Go sweep the floor. Go wash the dishes, right? And has it ever bothered anybody, the way that your boss, your manager talks to you, right? Or has talked to you in the past? You've ever had that boss or manager? I certainly have. And the difference between a boss or a leader, a boss and a leader, is a leader shows people what to do. A boss tells people what to do. So don't tell people what to do. A boss says, go do it. A leader says, let's go do it. Okay? Create a culture of speed and proximity. One of the best things you can do is create a culture, because a culture will build your organization when you're not there. What is the culture? What is the standard within your organization? And then you got to have DMOs in place, daily methods of operation. Okay? Duplicating influencers as we come to an end in the next 5 minutes. You guys can see it. Okay, here's 5 keys to duplicating influencers. Okay, 5 keys to duplicating influencers. You got to create and develop people who are independent, people who are problem solvers, people who are consistent, they're continuous, right? People who create action. Everywhere they go, boom, action, right? That's the kind of person that you want to go out there and duplicate. And somebody that got a big vision. Those are the ones you work with. Those are the ones that you spend your time with. Follow me here. You cannot make eagles out of chickens. Hear me. A chicken will never fly. An eagle always flies. Don't try and make eagles out of chickens. Okay? So you gotta have discernment on who you invest your time into. You gotta have discernment on who you actually spend time developing. Follow me. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So if the teacher hasn't appeared in a way that you want that teacher to appear, maybe you're not ready. Because when you're ready and you display and exhibit all of these different things that I've talked about, oh, that teacher's gonna be ready at your doorstep, wanting to develop you, wanting to coach and train you. I used to wonder, how do I attract a mentor? How do I have somebody in my life, man, if I could just have them in my life? Guys, I can't even tell you the amount of people now, oh my goodness, that I've had a chance to be in proximity with. 6, 7, 8-figure earners, multi-millionaires. I mean, people, it's amazing. People I've always wanted to work with, I now have relationships with, personal relationships. Okay. But it's because I was conscious of who I was, and that in turn attracted who it is that they are. The frequency start attracting. Okay. And then last but not least, here's the duplication process for those of you who are interested, want to take it down. Okay, you guys can see it. First things first, I do, you watch. Okay, I do, you watch. You might want to write this down, those of you guys who want to develop leaders. I'm going to do it first, and then guess what? You just watch. Then I do it, and you help do it. Okay? Meaning you might, again, just add to what it is that I'm doing. I might have you do the first part of what I'm doing. I might have you open up before I do what it is that I'm about to do. And then you do it, and I help you. Maybe I just add a little bit of sauce into whatever it is that you're doing. I'll just contribute just a little bit, but you're doing the majority. You do, I'm gonna just watch. I'm not gonna say anything. And just sit there and watch. Okay, I'll evaluate, I'll give you constructive criticism, I'll give you my honest feedback. And then you do, you teach. Right? A real leader will develop more leaders, not followers. And success really isn't success without successors. Your whole focus should be on who's up next, who's coming after me, who can do what it is that I'm doing, who can replace me. That is your thought process, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Train people so well that they could leave you, but never want to. Train them so well, raise them up to be so phenomenal as a leader that they are capable of and could very well leave you, but they don't want to because of how much value that you add and added to their life. That's how you want to go about developing leaders, ladies and gentlemen. So again, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and like this video, drop a comment, subscribe on YouTube, share it with somebody else who you want to see grow. If you guys got some value, type of AOTK in the chat. Okay, if you guys got some value, type of AOTK in the chat. Obviously, the recording will be up soon. We're going to be back again next Saturday, talking about success principles, talking about God principles, okay, and how you can grow in each and every single area and way of your life, portion of your life. So that being said, y'all know I love each and every single one of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. See you on the next one.